And now we'd like to delve a little deeper into some of the moves that we had discussed earlier at the beginning of the show. There were a few that really stood out over the past few months, especially some of the really high flyers, a lot of top rope jumps, dives here, dives there, wrestlers flying constantly. Some little less, what shall we say, strategic. Well, I don't know. There were some strategic ones, possibly your own, switching masks with your partner. There were a lot of moves that...
Who did that?
Seems to me you and your brother, as you were wrestling. One of you's in the ring, the other one's outside. You jump out, put his mask on, go back in, pin him.
Wait a minute. I never jumped out of the ring and put his mask on. Okay. Now, if you would want to wager a bet, we can do it right here on this television program, that I never got out of that ring and put his mask on.
You're sure?
I am positive.
Jumped out, rolled out, what's the technical
Never was out of the ring. Are you sure you know what you're talking about?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, we'll find out later.
Well, on to others. There were a lot of moves. Any others that...
I think the best move was bringing my brother in from Europe, then going down to Texas and finding me another partner.
I think we're talking about wrestling moves, though.
Oh!
Any particular wrestling moves, holds, anything that caught your attention more than, as we mentioned earlier, like the Roadblock Buster. We mentioned a few by name.
The Roadblock Buster.
Well, not specifically by name, but are there any particular that stand out that you remember?
My pile drivers.
I don't think I'm getting anywhere with him, Dave. Do you kind of sense that? It's not going anywhere with this.
Maybe I just don't understand the question.
Holds in wrestling that stand out from the past 3 or 4 months of wrestling here at PWI.
Nope. None stand out for me. I didn't have any put on me.
None at all.
I was wrestling Big Rig Rollins and Cousin Bubba for most of the past 2 or 3 months. They don't even know how to put on a hold. All they do is knock you down with either their breath or their weight.
Well, I don't know about you sometimes. Well, Dave, what about you? Did you notice any holds that...
Oh, probably one of the high flyers, so to speak, that really stood out this year was some aerial buttocks that we saw from the Flying Angel. And I think we've got a clip here that we can take a look at the moves that were put on by the Flying Angel. You can see the man can mix it up with the roughest of them.
Well, we haven't seen him since the tag team tournament. He's been away for a while. Understand down in the southern part of the United States.
Yeah, making quite a name for himself down there. Fans really enjoyed seeing the high-flying action of the Flying Angel there, and the Professor just kind of bouncing across the ring, the recipient of some of these scientific moves. And another quick body slam by the Flying Angel.
Is he from the circus?
Word has it that he does have some acrobat experience from the past there. Well-defined wrestler. As you see him going up there on the top rope, flying across beautifully. Delivered drop kick on the chest of the Professor. Off the top rope. The man's got some maneuvers, Dallas James.
Well, he is a high flyer. I have to give him that.
And the Professor asking for a timeout from the referee.
Now, what do you think he'd do against me or the bounty hunter?
Well, I don't know. He would definitely keep you moving, Dallas James.
Yeah, he might keep us moving, but at 210 pounds, the big bounty hunter could catch him coming off the top rope.
Well, we'll see what happens. Oh, the Professor caught him there. As well, a mistake there, Dallas James.
Back that up. I want to see that again.
A mistake there. The Flying Angel took his eye off his wrestler, taking it for granted that he was still down. As you know, you don't take your opponent for granted. You need to keep a watchful eye as you're setting up
Tell the truck to back that up. Now we've got it on tape. Back it up. I want to see that again.
Well, the Professor finally showing his colors here in this match. Besides the red welts going across his back from the pounding. And there you see the strength being demonstrated by the Flying Angel there. Up on the back. What a move! Dallas James, have you seen it ever? Well applied there by the Flying Angel.
Well, he may have got the 3 count, but looks like he's going to get the beating now.
The Flying Angel, victorious here. Well, fans, now it's time to take a look at one topic that may not sit well with some of us here on the panel today, but this is the cheapest victory.
What?
The cheapest victory achieved here in the PWI this year. And this is...
Oh, I understand now why it's not going to set well. We're going to see when those two big blimps put the hoods on and called themselves Batman and Robin. That was cheap. I agree. Couldn't even...
That's what he's talking about.
What?
That's not what I'm talking about here, Dallas. The match I'm talking about has to do with how one team achieved the tag team titles.
That's what I just said.
No,
Batman and Robin, Bubba and Rig, or Gump and Big Pig.
Possibly the other team. Do you remember who they were wrestling against? I think that's more who he's talking about.
Let's see now. Cousin Bubba and Big Rig Rollins at the time were wrestling me and the Bounty Hunter.
No, not this match.
No?
No, not the one
No,
I'm
you
thinking of.
got to go back a little bit further into history, but it's kind of a double-edged sword here in that this cheap victory was attained by a cheap entrance into the tag team tournament. There was a tag team that was set to wrestle in the final round of the tag team tournament, and somebody came along and bought out the rights. Now, it wasn't cheap for some man's pocketbook, and that some man is international playboy Johnny Lee. He came in and bought the rights to the final round of the tag team tournament and bought that from superstar TJ Power. We had the Shadow Ninja and the Professor. They had achieved their rightful place to wrestle in the tag team tournament final bout, and superstar TJ Powers sold
What is
out.
so cheap about that?
It wasn't cheap, as I said, for Johnny Lee, but we know how Johnny Lee works, and we know what Johnny Lee's after. He was after the belt, and he bought the rights to that match for the tag team of
Western Justice.
Western. Well, I won't say it, said I wouldn't.
Western Justice.
And Western Justice
What is cheap about that?
is made up of the team of,
Well, it was my brother and I.
and your brother at that time was wrestling under the pseudonym.
What is this? Is this 20 questions?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm
Am
talking
I missing
about
something here?
Austin James,
know.
the Lone Ranger, and his brother Dallas, when their manager, Johnny Lee, bought their way into the final round of the tag team tournament to get him the match that brought him the title.
Now, wait a minute. What are you saying is cheap about that?
The way it was attained. First of all, you had another team work its way up, get to the final round, and then lo and behold, money buys them right in. Johnny Lee steps in to the PWI.
All right, but did they not have the option of saying no? Obviously, they didn't care.
Well, it
We
was,
didn't go in there and steal the titles. We had to defeat the good old boys, and we defeated them. 1, 2, 3, in the middle of the ring. There was no mask switched outside the ring, and if we're going to look at that match, as I said earlier, I'll bet you any amount of jelly beans you want to bet that mask did not come off outside that ring.
Is that what you're counting with these days, jelly beans? Well, you're right. You know, as we look back at the tape, it did not come out outside the ring. It was inside the ring.
And you never see me put it on.
The fans who were there saw.
Oh, what's the simpletons know?
Well, why don't we go ahead and look at this match? Obviously, Dallas is getting a little upset here. Maybe he can kind of calm down as this jogs his memory a little.
Get to go home and sleep.
What is transpiring right now? What is Johnny Lee's got up his sleeve here? The Playboy, the superstar. What is
First of all,
transpiring
shut
in
up,
front of
geeks.
us here?
I have just bought the rights to this match.
What?
It took 10 grand to do it, but now I'm introducing the team that'll face these goofs from Texas, the new and improved soon-to-be PWI Tag Team Champions.
What is happening here? Johnny Lee has bought his
Western
rights into this
Justice.
match. and is bringing in a new team. Who is this? Who is this new team? Johnny Lee waltzes in here, buys out the counter. The Lone Ranger.
Match.
I cannot believe this. Dallas James. Cowboy hat, the duster. Where is the robe?
This contest is still for
I
the
cannot believe what I'm
PWI
seeing.
World Tag Team
First
Championship.
Johnny Lee, now
A strange
Austin,
turn.
the Lone Ranger, whomever, on the outside. The match is going on the outside as well. Who is this out here now? Again, another masked wrestler making his way on the outside, interfering in here. It seems that there's the mask off. The mask has come off. That's Austin James on the outside. Dallas James has put the mask on the inside, gone in, and covered the man on the inside. Oblivious, the referee unaware of what has happened. Dallas James has taken the mask off Austin James on the outside, gone inside and pinned. Referee giving him the 3 count, and it looks like the referee is going to award them the title. In here, gentleman Johnny Walker trying to straighten things out. I hope the referee listens fast, or we're going to see the belts go over to the team under Playboy Johnny Lee. What is going to...
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the PWI World Tag Team Championship competition, the PWI World Tag Team new champions, Dallas and Austin, the James Boys.
Even besides the protests and gentleman Johnny coming in here trying to tell the referee what had transpired, referee is awarding this. I cannot believe that, first of all, how this match came to be tonight. And now this team is the champions. Johnny Lee has another tag team champion. He has more heavyweight metal around the waist.